Today we will be discussing the importance of creating and sustaining an inclusive classroom at the college level. As a basis for the discussion, we will be using the Chicago Handbook for Teachers, 2nd edition. Since the 1960s, there has been considerable change in the demographics of the American college student. Colleges and universities have seen an increase in the number of African American, Latino, and Asian students enrolled on their campuses. In addition, the United States enrolls nearly 25% of all international students. Because of the vast changes in the makeup of the student population, it is important for instructors to be aware and informed of the importance of creating an inclusive classroom environment. Understanding differences is the first step to address the needs of the ever-changing student population, but as the cartoon demonstrates, it is not the only step. As the American post-secondary population continues to change, a focus on creating an inclusive environment will help prepare students of all backgrounds for professional and personal success. Multicultural issues play an important part in the development and implementation of courses for instructors. As the graphic shows, America continues to become more and more of a melting pot as time passes. One way instructors can create an inclusive classroom is to use the concept of universal design. Universal design is the creation of a clearly understood set of course practices. This includes detailed expectations and examples of expected performance. In addition, universal design helps students build upon previous knowledge in order to reach mastery of course material. Finally, universal design encourages the development of a commitment to fairness and equality. Instructors must also be committed to being aware of their own preconceptions. This self-understanding will help instructors anticipate potential conflict in the classroom related to diversity issues. Instructor self-awareness will also allow for a better understanding of students and their individual needs. Better understanding students helps to create a more inclusive and inviting classroom environment. This graphic is another depiction of the numerous backgrounds of individuals who we may have in our post-secondary classrooms. Many instructors do not intentionally integrate multicultural learning activities into their courses. Although this may be the case, it is still important for instructors to understand how diversity affects the teaching and learning process. Conflict, either intentional or unintentional, will eventually face all instructors. How you respond as an instructor can immediately set a tone for students in your classroom. Some questions, comments, or behaviors, whether displayed out of harmful intent or ignorance, can be used as learning tools for all students in the classroom. Unfortunately, there will be some behaviors that the instructor must cease immediately in order to protect the rights or well-being of certain students in the class. Failure to immediately act upon these harmful actions or comments will many times result in distrust, withdrawal, or increased conflict by those who have perceived a wrong against them. Because of the complexity of these issues, it is important for instructors to create a plan on how to deal with such conflicts in the classroom. Seeking outside guidance for issues you are uncomfortable with may help ease your own anxiety and help you develop a more inviting classroom environment. In addition to the numerous cultural and ethnic backgrounds we may experience in our classrooms, students with special needs will be an important consideration as well. As our student population may consist of students at differing stages in their lives, understanding students with disabilities will be an important part of course planning. Individual disabilities can range from minor learning difficulties to severe psychological issues. Instructors should always remember that they are not expected to be experts on disabilities. Colleges and universities are many times more prepared for students with disabilities, as most have staffs dedicated to assisting these students. Instructors can rely on these specifically trained staff members as resources to learn more about specific disabilities, appropriate accommodations, and other disability-related issues. Current technology has made the integration of accommodations much easier and less obtrusive than in the past. Rely on technology to make accommodating and including students more integrated in your classroom practices. An increase in the number of recent armed conflicts has led to an increased number of students who have previously served in the American Armed Forces. These individuals may have some similar issues to those who are disabled, but also have very specific needs as a group. Many returning veterans may be dealing with issues related to traumatic brain injury, abbreviated TBI, mild brain injury, abbreviated MBI, or post-traumatic stress disorder, abbreviated PTSD. Others may be dealing with the loss of limbs, hearing, or sight related to their service overseas. Instructors must be sensitive to the adjustment many of these individuals may be confronting. A new sense of individuality and freedom from a highly organized command structure may pose difficulties for returning servicemen and women. This same structure may cause those who served to resist asking for help. Being understanding, accommodating, and respectful of their service will help these individuals to more quickly adjust and be productive students. International students come from a wide range of cultural and ethnic backgrounds. With this diversity comes just as diverse a set of communication and learning styles. In addition, international students will arrive with varying levels of educational readiness as well as varying levels of English proficiency. Misconceptions about eye contact, formality, questioning the instructor, and language barriers can all have a negative impact on the openness and inclusiveness of the class. It is important for the instructor to attempt to draw all students into the class activities and discussions, as the concept of these activities may be new and uncomfortable for students new to the American educational system. Creating many low-risk opportunities for international students to become involved with class can ease anxiety. Make sure to always be explicit when dealing with students from other backgrounds. Always communicate your desire to understand your students and continue to work until you both feel that there is understanding. Additionally, providing written and graphical versions of classroom topics will allow students to review material and see that same material from a different perspective. Showing interest outside of class time is another good way to break down cultural barriers between instructor and student. The extra time may also allow international students the opportunity to gain more experience with American cultural norms and the use of the English language. Creating and sustaining an inclusive classroom can take some work and forethought, but will result in reward far greater than the effort required. Always remember to anticipate problems and how you will react to those problems. You will never anticipate all possibilities, but you will prepare yourself to handle difficult situations. Make a conscious effort to integrate diverse activities and opinions into your course. Allowing students to contribute their own experiences will create a sense of belonging. Let your students see that you are much more than just a content specialist. You are a person too. Showing your own personal touch will help your students contribute more often. Finally, understand that you need not have all of the answers. Part of being a good instructor is knowing when to get outside assistance. Constantly strive to ensure that your classroom is open and inclusive. The work is well worth the reward.